Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 2384 of What You Have to Know. Documenting the journey and sharing lessons learned, the good, bad, the ugly, because some of it's been ugly, some of it's been awesome. As I originally went from brick and mortar corporate world of business ownership to the online world and back and forth again with the pandemic and all the craziness that came out of that. Well, today we're talking about in our Let's Grow annual challenge. Do an annual challenge, meaning I do one thing every day to improve an area or aspect of my life. And about 7 years ago, I started bringing people right along with me to do that because I think it is such an easy, doable, powerful tool that we can all use, but most people won't, right? It's like most people will never put forth the effort that's required to create the life that they want. And I think that doing it one day at a time, one little step at a time, is something anybody and every one of us can do. Every one of us can find 5 to 10 minutes a day to work on something that we want for our life, some area of improvement or something that we desire, something we want to get. I guess I learned when I was very young the power of setting a goal and achieving a goal. Thanks to my late father for that, because he was incredible about teaching my sisters and I how to set goals and how to achieve things, how to get what we wanted by working hard and putting forth the effort to make those things happen in our lives. So today, in the annual challenge, we're talking about confidence this whole month, confidence growth. It's the Let's Grow annual challenge, meaning we're doing one thing every day to grow. And I like to set it up with the life framework that I use. It's a 9-part life framework since 2021 after the pandemic. I added 2 components to my personal life framework, and that's what I teach now. Prior to that, I learned it from Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins. He's back in the late 70s, early 80s, probably the 80s. If I were to think back, but I don't want to think that hard about it because I've been using it so long, I've made it my own. But it was a 7-part life framework: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. And I found that if I structured my life around those components and did something in each one of them, I was moving in the direction that I wanted my life to. Now, have there been times in my life when I did not do that, or I totally ignored certain aspects and components of that model? Yup. There sure have been, and to my detriment, I will say, and it was in 2010, after following a sudden cardiac arrest, that I realized I had gotten off track and I wasn't working on creating the life that I wanted. I was just doing what I thought I had to, doing what I thought everybody else thought I should do, and it was absolutely positively not working for me. And so in 2010, I made massive, and I mean massive, choices and decisions and reprioritization and changes in my life, and it's led me to where I am now. And I am a much calmer, much more rational, much happier person, and more grateful because of it. So annual challenges, I'm avid fan, absolutely know how powerful they are, and I'm amazed that more people don't actually do them. You know, you'll see people online beginning of every year, this is my word of the year, and they just pick a word of the year and then they think about that word all year long, but they might not even ever do anything with it or take action. We take it a step further and we say, okay, what is one thing that we want to really impact in our lives? And we focus on it for an entire year, and we do one thing every day. And it isn't always a big thing. Sometimes they're bigger than others. Some things are harder than others, depending on where we are in our own growth and our own development. I find some things that I challenge us to do take me a long time because I haven't put forth the time and effort to focus on and work on that particular area in my life. Confidence, I don't think that's one of them. I've spent lots of years working on my confidence. But I am doing, in our option today, we're on the O of the SOAP framework. I like to pick a challenge every month for the area that we're focusing on and use the SOAP framework to work on that. Something I came up with in 2020 during the pandemic because I wanted to, and I incorporated it into the Get Up and Go challenge. We did a 30+ day challenge every other month to keep us moving forward during the crazy times of the pandemic. I started it because I was like, all right, this is nuts. I was already doing challenges, but it was like, this is nuts. All the things we've ever done before have been shut down. Not all of them, but a whole lot of them. And it impacted nearly everyone on the planet in some way, shape, or form. And so I was like, yep, this can stop us, and we can all just freeze for however long it's going to be, because first it was going to be 2 weeks, then it was going to be a month, then it was 2 months, then it was a year, 2 years, etc. And all the misinformation, all the craziness about it. And all the lessons learned, and hopefully we're still learning lessons from that. But the biggest lesson I learned really early on was I can't stop being me. I can't stop doing anything. What can I do versus focusing on all the things we couldn't do or can't do? Because the focus in the world and media was, here's all the things you can't do. And that's where most people went with it. Most people just shut down. And I would say a large group, the percentage that benefited during the pandemic, were people that said, what can we do? What can I do? What can we do? How can we keep moving forward no matter what's going on in the world? And that's a great philosophy to have all the time. For Supersize Your Business, we are talking about a structure and a framework for successfully supersizing and growing and building your business. And I talked about 12 to 14 different strategies and components that you want to make sure are built into your business building strategy, and that you have a framework for how you're going to grow your business. Otherwise, it happens painfully, ad hocly, and at times when you're woefully unprepared for it to happen. Certain industries really got a taste of that during the pandemic. They exploded and blew up and were huge, industries and things that didn't even really hardly exist before. And other businesses were just devastated and shut down. Those that got creative and looked for solutions of what they could do thrived during that period, or at least survived to thrive after that period because they had put things in place. I think Target. I've never seen Target Corporation be more successful than they were during the pandemic, and they are now and after. We have a Target in my small town, and it's mind-boggling to me every time we go by. It's packed. Both the online orders, and I will say my favorite thing that came out of the pandemic is online ordering and picking up or delivering. And that's because I have my own personal challenges that it works really well for me to be able to order and then just have things delivered to my door. All right. That's all I've got today. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. Working on a new big project, which is always super fun and exciting for me. But I still have time available if you have a burning question or desire that you need answered. Hit me up. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.